Hello, my dear students of class 4. This is your social science teacher, Lily Case, and today we are going to begin with another lesson. I hope you are ready with your textbook. So let's begin. Page number 66, Chapter 10, Story of the Wheel. Chapter 10, Story of the Wheel. This lesson is in page number 6666. Okay. So here in this lesson, you are going to learn about a wheel. So a wheel is round in shape. Earlier, these wheels are made of stone, wood, but now these wheels are found in different metals or also supported with rubber, which I'm going to tell you in the later part of the explanation. All right. So evolution of wheels. Evolution means how the generation of wheels have changed from earlier times, that is during the early man's time, we say early man, right? And now these wheels have changed into better ones, okay? Like it is supported with rubbers, as you can see in the tire. So let me first explain to you about this wood, okay? So when the wheel was first discovered, it was in the form of wood. So this wood was attached to some other woods, or it was tied with an animal and it was pulled, and with the help of that they carried some heavy things, or they also used it as a means of transportation. So earlier times, this wheel cannot run by itself, right? So they have to be either pulled or pushed by someone in order to use it as a means of transportation, okay? Then they also made wheels made of stones. However, they found that these stone wheels were very heavy, and with the evolution, okay, with the change of generation, these wheels were later made lighter, that means less heavy, and were also made of metal, so it can last very long, right? Then nowadays in the cars, you see that the wheels are also attached with other materials like rubber, so it will last even longer, okay? So animals used for transportation. So those times, during the early man's time, the animals were used for transportation, okay? That is, to go from one place to another, they use the help of animals. And sometimes there are certain things that the human beings cannot carry because it is very heavy. So for that, they tie up all the heavy things on top of the animal and they travel from one place to another, all right? These days, because of the cars, because of the buses and trucks, many new inventions came up, right? So these animals are not used anymore like before. However, in places like desert, the camels are used. Also in some Indian cities, the bullock carts are still used to carry heavy things, okay? And also in some countries, the horses are used and the donkeys are also used for transportation. So this is how animals were used. Now, when you look into the new generation, you see that we have buses, we have trucks, then we have motorbikes and scooter, right? And what do you see when you see these vehicles? You see that they all have wheels attached to them, right? Now, after the discovery of wheels, that was when early human beings have first found out the importance of this wheel. They started using it for their work, for journey, all right? And even now in the present generation, these wheels are helping us a lot, okay? Not only for a car, but also for different other things, which again I will tell you in other images, all right, with the help of other pictures. Okay, let me go back again. So how wheel was discovered? How did human beings even had the idea of discovering this wheel or making a wheel out of the wood? So that is a question for you and me, right? We don't know the exact story of the wheel, all right? But we believe that it was humans who made the wheel and some idea has struck their mind, so the invention of wheel came up, okay? So there is one story here, all right? So what you see here is a log of wood, okay? So sometimes, sometimes, but one day there was a man, okay? He saw that a log of wood was floating on water. Floating means it wasn't going down, it was just at the level of water, at the top of the water, okay? And then while seeing that floating log of wood, a man also tried to swim. But what happens to us? We don't float like the wood, right? We have to support ourselves. We have to keep moving our hands. But this log of wood, it doesn't need any support. It wasn't going down. It was just staying motionless. Motionless means it was not moving at all, okay? So then human beings got the idea of taking the help of this wood to travel on water. So what they did, they made a raft, okay? What you see here is a raft. So they collected wood, some few woods were piled up together, they tied it very tightly and then they threw it on the water. So what they saw was those wood were not going inside, okay? It was just floating like that. So a man tried to stand on top of that raft and he could travel on water, okay? So like this is how ships and boats were found later on, okay? People started making ships and boat after seeing this floating wood, okay? Another one is sledge, okay? What you see here is a sledge. So wood not only was working on top of water, but a wood, when we tie it, when we make a sledge and tie it on the rope on the animals, and when we pull it, it can also pull a human beings, as you can see in the picture here, right? So they learned that human beings can also travel with the help of wood. And then you know the pyramid, right? In Egypt, there are some pyramids. So with the help of this sledge, the pyramids was also made. There were some heavy stones which a single person cannot lift it, right? So with the help, even if there was 4 or 5 people, they cannot lift the heavy rocks or stones. So with the help of this sledge, they could easily pull the rock and then this pyramid was made. Now there is another story, okay? So there was one early man and one day he saw that there was a log of wood that was rolling down from the hill. So when he saw that, he thought to himself, if a wood can roll like that, I'm sure if I cut it into the size of a wheel, we can do a lot more. So then he decided to cut it and surprisingly it was working, okay? So not only that, but a log of wood, when it rolls, it can also pull heavy things, right? So with the invention of this wheel, we can see that a lot of things was also invented. See, wheels today. So with the help of wheels, what we can do today, we can also make boats, okay? So with the help of wheel, when it is circling, when it is making a movement, we can make a boat. And you can also see that in the road roller, there are wheels. Of course, there are wheels that are running the machine, but because of these rollers, the roads are made straight, okay? Then you can also see a trolley. With the help of this trolley, we can carry huge bags or very heavy baggages, okay? And even in the factories, all right? In a big factories and industries, these wheels are attached. Attached means joined. These wheels are attached and then things are made. The sweets that we are eating now or the clothes that you and I are wearing now, they all come from factory and industries, right? So in these factories and industries, wheels are attached and clothes or things or any items that we are using now, they are made, okay? Also, I can give you more examples. You can see a stretcher here. This stretcher is used in hospitals whenever a patient is very sick and cannot get up from the bed, then the patient is kept on top of stretcher and pulled, okay? So it becomes more easy for that patient also, because when we are holding a person, a very sick person, it becomes difficult for the patient also, right? But when we keep them on a bed, on a stretcher and pull them, it is easier for the one who is pulling as well as for the patient. So wheels, small wheels are attached on this stretcher and then we pull the patient. Another one you see here is a ring well, right? So here wheels are attached and there is a rope. So while pulling, you can make a difference, okay? If you try pulling a water from a well where there is no wheel, then it's quite difficult. We can feel the heavy weight of the bucket. But if there is wheel there and if we pull the water, we can pull it quite easily, all right? Then another one, as you can see, a wall clock, even inside the watches, okay? There are small wheels there that helps the clock to circle around, all right? So these are the evolutions. Now, in page number 72, there is an activity called a fun time, okay? Now, if you see the images there, you will see that there are trains, there are buses and trucks, and on the other side of the column, there is wheels, okay? So now you're going to match them. If you need help, you can look at your textbook and you can match them, or you can also take help of the images that I have shown you and you can match them. Why these wheels are different from one another is because, say for example in train, okay? Train do not use the same wheel that is used in truck. The wheels that are found in train are different, okay? They do not have any rubbers attached to them, but they are just iron wheels and they run on tracks, okay? Now, the wheel of a bicycle is very different from the wheel of a truck again, because the size is smaller, and for the truck we need bigger wheels and heavy wheels because trucks always carry very heavy things, right? So they need heavy and very bigger wheels, all right? So students, from this lesson, what you and I have learned is that with the invention of wheel, we were able to go to one place and another place at a very short time, right? Earlier, we used to walk. Even my grandparents, they told me that they were walking from one place to another, all right? So about this transportation, I've already told you, it means going from one place to another or taking things from one place to another. About this lesson, you will learn more if you watch the video lesson of chapter 11. But in this lesson, I will only tell you about the wheels and how the wheels have changed the entire system of transportation. Not only transportation, but also in industries, in our homes, in hospitals. I've shown you some images, right? Okay, let me take you back once more, okay? See, we have a stretcher here. It was also attached to wheels. So because of the wheels, the stretcher can work. We also have stretchers in the hospitals that do not have wheels, where two people have to carry on the both side, okay? And we have wells here, which is also attached to wheel, and when there is wheel we can pull the water easily, right? And the watches that we have at home, if you have any watches that are not working, you can also find out by yourself. Inside you will see so many small wheels which are attached to it, okay? And then I told you about making the pots, okay? The pots, the round pots especially, which we see around us, are made with the help of wheels. And then I'm sure you have seen this road roller, because whenever there is road construction, you will see this vehicle, and this is used to make the roads straight, okay? And yes, coming back to the story of the early man, so there are two stories, right? One was about a man who saw the wood that was floating on water, and another one was a wood that was rolling down from the hill. So what have you learned from these two lessons? One was, after seeing the floating wood, the idea of making the boats came up, right? And then when they saw the woods rolling from the hill, the idea of making wheels came up, right? So after making the wheels, they also attached the wheel with animals and pulled it. And while the animals were pulling it, even humans can sit there, and we can also travel, or we can also keep some heavy things on top of the wheel, and then can be pulled by animal, okay? So another one is sledge. This sledge you will find in some places like cold places where there are snows, okay? So in snow, the road is not the mud, okay? The mud is not as rough as the snow, so the sledge can be used. The same sledge, we cannot use it in the rough mud that we have here, all right? So this is only for certain areas, all right? Then I told you about this floating wood and making the raft. The raft was the first idea before they made a boat, okay? And then after all these thoughts, you know, if human beings have not thought about a wheel, then we wouldn't have seen a car today, okay? It's all because of the thoughts, it's all because of the questions and ideas that we have put after seeing a wood. Now we are enjoying all the luxury cars, all the comfort of traveling from one place to another, right? So this nowadays we are traveling from buses. We see people carrying heavy things from the trucks, and if you have a bike, a two-wheeler, we say two-wheeler, okay? So with the help of two-wheeler, you can also cover up short distances very easily, all right? So earlier, people were using the animals as a means of transportation, but now this has all been replaced with cars and buses and all the vehicles, all right? So this is all. Thank you so much, my dear student. We'll see you again in another lesson. Till then, study hard and take care.